With a hopeful smile, she holds the colorful balloons tightly, her long hair flowing gently in the breeze. After the fierce battle against the Demon Lord's army, she shyly asks Chrome to make her his bride. A girl with long hair and a white shirt smiles shyly at the camera, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. The boy looks startled, while the girl, concerned, starts to explain something. He ponders the ongoing peril of their battles. The boy leans in and kisses Irina, his heart racing. She gasps, her eyes wide with shock. He remembers a heartfelt promise with Irina to marry once their battle concludes, filled with hope for a joyful future together. A man grips his gun tightly, determination etched on his face as he prepares to confront the looming threat before him. With determination, she brandishes her sword and raises her shield, declaring, "Holy shield!" A radiant glow envelops her, illuminating the battlefield. A massive reptilian creature bellows, "Don't forget about us!" Its wide-open mouth radiates urgency as a girl and a boy stand side by side. They gaze in awe at a dragon-like creature soaring into the sky. The girl, excited, urges the boy to coordinate their movements and follow the mythical beast together. Two characters yell, "Firestorm!" as a fierce, dragon-like creature unleashes a scorching attack. The sharply dressed figure stands resolute, gripping the holy sword Weiss, ready to confront the encroaching darkness of the devilish beast lunging at him. Determined, he excitedly informs Yuno of their success, attributing it to Chrome and the entire team's support, while a narration highlights his role as one of the 7 heroes and Yuno's closest friend. A steadfast hero in shining armor stands firm, flanked by ethereal figures. The narration reveals that 7 brave warriors were summoned to battle the Demon Lord's minions after the world was shattered. The hero's party featured the vanguard, who proudly carried a massive sword over his shoulder, flaunting his muscular build and sturdy armor. Farah strikes a bold pose in her striking battle outfit, her sly smile captured in a close-up as the narration introduces her as the fierce swordswoman. A proud knight in elaborate armor, draped in a majestic cloak, stands tall, embodying the essence of the knight amongst knights, Margot. He remembers Irina, the priest, and his lover, alongside Valerie the sage, his wise mentor who introduced him to magic. A girl with flowing black hair and a bright smile confidently introduces herself as Luna Star. A group of 7 diverse friends stands together, beaming with excitement, as a narration box announces that one of them has been selected to join a hero's party. As the boy strolls, he feels curious about whether Irina is still awake. Meanwhile, Irina is lost in thought, anxious about their impending clash with Frangilis, one of the 13 generals of the Demon Lord's army. The girl with black hair gazes intently at the man, her curiosity piqued. He hears her voice and contemplates greeting her, a flicker of hope igniting within him as he wonders if it might be Irina's voice. A boy watches a girl named Irina, who sits across from him, her eyes sparkling with excitement as they share a playful conversation. A boy curiously watches as Irina stands in front of Yuno's room, her hand gently held by a man near the open door. A man anxiously realizes he shouldn't be daydreaming. He softly confesses his love to Irina, his heart racing with hope as he reassures her of his sincerity. The boy looks shocked as a girl steps forward, her eyes sparkling with affection, and confesses her love to him. The man sits on the toilet, perplexed, as he hears muffled voices outside the door. His gaze shifts to the floor, watching the feet of 2 people pacing back and forth, their movements frantic. Confusion swells within him as he struggles to make sense of the commotion. A man sits in a jail cell, staring at the barred door, engulfed in a haze of whispered words like hope, strength, and freedom, each echoing his longing and despair. A girl glances at Chrome, worry etched on her face, noticing his pale complexion. "Are you okay?" she asks, her voice filled with concern as he meets her gaze. The group stands in a clearing, one member glancing back with a dismissive, "It's nothing," while another looks exhausted, having not slept all night. A boy and a girl stand side by side. The boy looks surprised, while the girl remains serene. He reflects on how they are always together. The boy with dark hair and a focused expression watches the girl with a soft smile as they share a kiss, both lost in their moment. The muscular man proudly grips the balloon, exclaiming their determination to confront Frangilis. Behind him, the armored figure eagerly nods in agreement. The man grins fiercely, declaring he will defend his partner. The woman nods with determination, brandishing her knife as they prepare to face their foes together. The boy falls to the forest floor, agony etched across his face, as the girl nearby grips a knife, her voice coldly declaring the use of the forbidden art Chains of Despair. A shadowy figure in a dark cloak tells a girl that anger and despair will unleash the light within her darkness, empowering her as a hero. The girl sits on the ground, wide-eyed, as a voice off-panel declares that their hero needs more power. A girl with a chain around her neck stands frozen, her eyes wide with disbelief as she processes the news that she is the sacrifice. In the dim light, a couple shares a tender kiss, their faces illuminated by the warmth of their connection. Nearby, a woman passionately asserts that everyone has united to empower the hero, while a man in armor solemnly declares that another must be the sacrifice. A man grimaces, overwhelmed, as he feels his strength slipping away. Yet he knows deep down that everyone yearns to live. As the boy reclines, he reveals that as darkness deepens with despair, the hero draws strength from the light, fearing inevitable demise if it persists. The shadowy figures seethe, but the boy on the ground grits his teeth, believing it will only empower the hero. The boy gazes at the girl with a warm smile, vowing to bring her joy, while she softly closes her eyes in contentment. A girl and a guy embrace tightly, both radiating warmth as she apologizes to someone named Chrome. He admits he's cherished Irina for ages, pouring his heart into mastering magic just to safeguard her. The boy reminisces, feeling grateful as he remembers how the hero's party, through every joy and sorrow, transformed into a family for him, an orphan. The girl stands in the woods, feeling lonely as she realizes she's the only one who saw things differently. The boy, astonished, stares at the shimmering magical chains that materialize around him, not of metal, but woven from pure enchantment. The boy anxiously reveals that Valerie mentioned a forbidden art known as Chains of Despair, when a sudden crash cuts him off. The boy yells, "Fireball!" as he unleashes his spell, urgency flashing in his eyes at the sight of the approaching pack of sword wolves. The boy's eyes widen in surprise as he feels the absence of his MP, while a wolf-like creature charges forward menacingly. Two demonic beasts, heartbroken, mourn the betrayal of their trusted companions, feeling abandoned and helpless, resigned to their fate as discarded prey. A group of friends sits in a cozy room, laughing and sharing stories, their faces glowing with joy. Amid the chatter, one person pauses, feeling a flicker of loneliness, wondering if they truly belong. The man, with a trembling voice and tear-filled eyes, fearfully admits he doesn't want to die or be lost in this place. A close-up of a boy's wide eye reveals his desperation, conveying his fierce will to survive and refusal to accept this fate. A boy reclines, his anguish and rage fulfilling the criteria as the ritual reaches 70%, unleashing the powers of darkness. The boy gasps, startled, as he notices the notification for the EX skill, Fixed Damage. The boy stands bewildered as a mysterious woman's voice echoes, asking if he wants to activate the skill. She gazes intently at the camera, uncertainty flickering in her eyes as she grips the object tightly, unsure if it can fend off the looming danger. The text reveals the activation of an EX skill named Fixed Damage, as the user's determination solidifies and the execution unfolds. Two wolf-like creatures grimace as they suffer from a relentless effect, taking fixed damage every 3 seconds within a 10-meter radius. The boy ponders if the sword wolves are in pain, as a haunting voice recognizes his awakening and questions his identity, hinting at the darkness inside him. A boy with white hair and black eyes listens intently, wearing a crisp white shirt and a black tie. The voice reveals that the rites birthed light and darkness, light bestowed upon the heroes, while darkness was inherited by him. Curious. A girl sits calmly, her legs crossed, as a shadowy figure whispers about how her pain, loneliness, and bitterness will nurture darkness and bestow her with greater strength. A smirking voice taunts about wielding a heavy darkness, while a figure grits their teeth in resolve. Furious, the boy glares at the screen as he realizes his EX skill's fixed damage has only increased from 1 to 2. A wounded character, desolate, gazes at the flowers, recalling betrayal and deepening wounds. Another, weary, replies with a nod, sharing their own scars from countless betrayals. The armored man growls, vowing revenge. Beside him, the woman coolly references Yukino and Irina. A third figure stands firm, promising ruthless retribution for their foes. The man, weary and resolute, grips his gun tightly, vowing to keep fighting despite the pain. A resolute girl sways slightly as she vows to cling to her resentment for as long as it takes. Two men, anxious, debate the threat of an attack on their city after learning of demon remnants in a nearby town, while a cloaked figure silently retreats in the background. In a dim alley, two boys stroll, anxious as they talk about the lingering dangers that still haunt the world after the Demon Lord's defeat. However, they feel reassured, knowing that Yungino and his team are ready to confront any remaining threats. The character with long, flowing light hair confidently declares, "I am the one who defeated the Demon Lord." With a determined expression, they add, "If needed, Governor Riot will step in." With fierce determination, she clutches her sword, a confident smirk on her lips. "You can't run anymore." Furious, the woman scowled at the two armored men. "Who would ever think of having fun with you two?" she snapped, her voice dripping with disdain. A girl with long hair smiles gently, sharing her joy about the fun they had with the boy's big sister, while the boy listens quietly, his expression thoughtful. After extensive training with Duke Riot, she felt accomplished. The man smirks menacingly, clutching a knife tightly, revealing he shed his former innocence. Riot mocks the weary girl, who gasps in disbelief, while a furious voice off-panel scolds him for disrespecting his sister. Armored men jeer, chuckling as they weigh the danger of getting caught, while a menacing figure grins wickedly, promising to drag someone to the Duke's lair. A man taunts the boy. "Do you even know who you're up against?" The boy, furious, glares back in disbelief. The character leans forward, a smirk playing on their lips, declaring proudly, "We're Duke Riot's subordinates, once part of the hero's party." An armored figure scowls, accusing the two knights of being lowlifes like someone else. One knight gasps in shock. A man in armor grins mockingly, his confident laughter echoing as he taunts his opponent's unsteady stance, certain of his impending triumph. The boy and the two armored men gasp in horror as a devastating blow lands, inflicting grave wounds, while a shadowy figure looms ominously nearby. The girl with twin tails suddenly leaps down, her eyes determined, as two others lie on the ground, stunned and gasping for breath, while a third watches nervously from below. Her eyes widen, and a faint blush creeps across her cheeks as she stammers, "W.H. who?" Determination shines in her gaze. A man in a suit smiles appreciatively as he converses with another man. Sia Frameright stands confidently, her long hair flowing behind her as she holds the white balloon tightly. Her expression is focused, radiating determination. The girl glances at the boy, her eyes wide with curiosity, while he hesitantly calls out to Chrome, who strides away, his cloak billowing behind him. The boy swallows nervously as the girl questions him about using magic to kill the soldiers. He nods, admitting quietly, "Something like that." She pleads for his help, her eyes fierce and unwavering, while he stares back, startled and attentive. 3 years ago, after the narrator's sacrifice, Yuno, fueled by determination, and the others embarked on a fierce quest to slay the Demon Lord. After their victory, Yuno and his team basked in the adoration of the crowd, celebrated as the mightiest of the 7 heroes, their hearts swelling with pride as they received accolades, honors, and riches from those below. They detail the ongoing privileges, emphasizing that the town's ruler, Duke Riot, is a prime beneficiary. Dressed sharply in a suit, Riot beams with determination as he dreams of conquering the waves like a king of the surf. Irina, beside him, chuckles at his audacity, her eyes sparkling with amusement at the warrior's lofty aspirations. The girl gazes at her reflection in the mirror, her heart racing as she admires the elegant black and white dress. A boy reminisces about his brilliant older sister, fierce and graceful with her sword, who once led Duke Riot's knights. A man in a suit stands resolutely, the shadows accentuating his stern expression. A voice narrates that Riot was reveling in wealth and women, all while burdening the citizens with oppressive taxes, starkly contrasting with the Duke's integrity. She reveals that her sister's harsh words ignited his anger. A cheerful cartoon character beams brightly, radiating joy and innocence. The scene captures a moment of pure happiness, contrasting sharply with the darkness of the world around them. The boy remembers how she, after losing their parents at a young age, nurtured him with unwavering love, portraying her as a tender, courageous soul. The boy, sobbing, swears with fierce resolve that he will never forgive them and will seek revenge. A cloaked figure inquired, curiosity evident in their voice, while a woman, her gaze hidden, began to speak, her tone apprehensive. She pleads with Chrome to help her avenge her sister's death by targeting Duke Riot. He hesitates, surprised, and asks if she truly means to kill a former member of the hero's party. A character clings to the web, their armored hands gripping tightly as they observe the massive spider looming above. Guarded. As they stroll down the street, the man walks with a relaxed confidence, while the woman beside him radiates curiosity. She glances up, intrigued by his casual demeanor. One character stands confidently, urging the other, who is slumped in despair, to realize that with Chrome-sama's strength, they could defy even a duke. She bows deeply, her heart heavy with regret, vowing to repay any debt, no matter how long it takes. The girl bows deeply, furious, while another apologizes earnestly, acknowledging the abrupt request, and a third nods quietly in agreement. Nervous, she thanks him, while he remains calm and assures her he'll help. Surprised, the girl gasps at his status as a duke and former hero party member. The girl glances shyly at the boy, who curiously asks what's wrong. She nervously contemplates whether he wants her body in exchange. She blushes and glances aside, admitting that her sister claimed all men are just animals trying to possess women. She asserts that not all men are driven by lust, labeling that view as unfair. The girl with twin tails shyly apologizes, her eyes sparkling with gratitude. She thanks her big sister for watching over her, a warm smile spreading across her face. The character observes that Riot, now brimming with confidence, has embraced his power. He recognizes the slight arrogance, but can't deny that Riot wields the undeniable strength of a great lord. She reveals that commoners coming back to a powerful lord are met with soldiers sent to slay them. They need him to step forward and show himself, as that's the answer they seek. The girl boldly proposes being the bait to draw him out, while the boy stares, astonished, at her daring suggestion. She anxiously admits that he sought her out first, while he stands with arms crossed, remarking on her frail state. He gazes into the mirror, his reflection revealing fragile limbs that struggle to support him. Regret washes over him as he acknowledges how the forbidden arts have ravaged both his magic and body. Farah gazes at her reflection, determination flickering in her eyes. "I'll end them," she states firmly. Her companion, unfazed, replies coolly, "No need for that." Surprise washes over her face, a moment of uncertainty breaking through her resolve. He declares resolutely that it must be completed swiftly and directly, framed by a dark, ominous sky and the looming silhouettes of castle towers. A bottle shatters as a man yells for more booze, while another man angrily dismisses him, and a third looks apologetic. A man sits on the floor, exuding confidence as he inquires about the identity of his subordinates. Killer. His subordinate, visibly anxious, admits that the culprit remains elusive. A man demands a more intensive search, determined not to embarrass himself, while another man hesitantly nods in agreement. Meanwhile, two figures grapple near the doorway. A couple kisses passionately, lost in their moment, while the world around them fades away. Their eyes sparkle with desire, and a warm smile spreads across the maid's face, her heart racing with excitement. A close-up reveals a sultry figure teasingly licking a collar, ominously warning of dire consequences for defiance, while offering enticing care for loyalty. Suddenly, an armored figure bursts into the scene, urgently calling for Riot. A man frowns, frustrated that he was about to reach the exciting moment, while a woman watches quietly. Suddenly, two hooded figures emerge, declaring the arrival of intruders. Guards yell angrily, demanding to identify the intruders as they charge forward, poised to strike mercilessly. Two figures stand beside a shattered phone, their faces reflecting shock as they take in the chaos around them. A man rides his bike with joy, a big smile on his face as he speeds down the path. The boy looks incredulous as he stands at the front door, while an unseen voice threatens the intruders with a chilling warning. A determined man stands tall in his suit and tie, vowing to make trespassers think twice before entering his domain, his grip firm on a weapon, exuding menace. With a fierce gaze, the boy vows to avenge his sister, tears streaming down his face as he stares intently at the figure beside him. A bearded man beams joyfully at Sia, instantly recognizing her with excitement. Furious, a woman glares at another, asserting her dominance in front of the man beside her. A man confidently declares that he already knows, while a startled figure behind him urgently calls out to Riot. The man stands proudly, asserting that no tricks can deceive him, as he activates a barrier crest for protection. The treasure withstands up to 30,000 points of damage and negates any irregular circumstances. Resilient. Two cheerful friends stroll down a lively street, chatting animatedly. One excitedly points out that their destination is just a short distance ahead, while sharing that it can resist even the strongest spells. A fierce man warns that with spells sealed, the hero can face any challenge with his sword, an enemy not to be underestimated. A man gasps in disbelief, realizing that 999 damage points have been dealt, leaving only 20,001 points before the crest shatters. The man and woman sit quietly in the room, the woman curious while the man appears relaxed, both observing their surroundings without any sudden movements. A hooded figure looms, questioning their identity, while a bystander gasps in disbelief at the sudden 9,999 damage points. A man with long hair partially obscures his face with his hand, a look of concern evident in his eyes as a warning message hovers beside him. The man in the suit looks perplexed as a voice announces that 999 damage points have been dealt, leaving 10,002 points before the crest shatters. A hooded figure steadily clutches a mysterious orb, while a startled man with a bruised face gasps in disbelief, questioning if it's truly Chrome. The man in the white shirt and black pants stands frozen, terrified. Beside him, a cloaked figure looms, while a woman watches with an unsettling calmness. The cloaked figure smirks, noting how Riot remembers him, despite expecting to be forgotten. The man in the suit gasps in disbelief as an unseen voice mourns the destruction of the barrier crest, lamenting the loss of an invaluable defense treasure. A cheerful character with a mustache confidently declares he will share his secret, while another character, wide-eyed and surprised, insists that the barrier crest couldn't have been shattered so quickly. A hooded figure confidently describes their ability to deal fixed damage to nearby targets. The sweating man, puzzled, questions the meaning of fixed damage, while the boy listens with wide-eyed surprise. A hooded figure steps forward, unleashing an attack that strikes with a chilling precision of 9,999. The sheer power radiating from their presence is overwhelming. The man stands confidently in his suit, surprised, as a voice declares that entering a 10-meter radius activates a devastating skill, inflicting 9,999 damage. The two characters stare, wide-eyed and stunned, at the shocking announcement of 9,999 damage points. A frantic man warns of the devastating impact, while a cloaked figure doubts whether the hero's warrior can endure such a strike. A close-up of a fierce gaze, accompanied by a speech bubble that warns, "Fear every step." A hooded figure boldly proclaims their skill's damage value is 199,991, their eyes burning with determination. A woman strolls down the street, a sense of freedom radiating from her as she takes in the vibrant surroundings. The character studies the barrier crest, impressed by its 20-meter effective radius. They realize that their fixed damage skill could shatter the amulet's defense if it crosses into that zone. A boy shouts desperately for someone to halt as a voice reveals the amulet is shattered and no longer provides safety. A man with a short beard urgently shouts, raising his hand in a defensive gesture, warning someone to stay back. Soldiers anxiously shout orders, drawing their bows and aiming weapons at two shadowy figures in the vast hall, ready to defend the Duke. A cloaked figure leans in, eyes wide with urgency as they urge Sia to stay close. She replies with a hesitant, yes, her fist clenched tightly, filled with resolve. A cloaked figure smiles warmly as they walk alongside a small boy, explaining that their ability affects everything within reach, not just people. A cloaked figure confidently proclaims that any attack aimed at him, be it arrows, magic, or anything else, will prove utterly futile. A frantic soldier shouts for his comrades to shield him and fight back, while another grits his teeth in anger. Two armored soldiers whisper anxiously, dreading the peril of getting too close to the enemy, convinced that death is imminent if they advance. Furious, Riot hurls insults, branding the other person as worthless. Meanwhile, the other figure remains composed on the ground, a sword resting beside them. A cloaked figure declares that no one here has genuinely pledged loyalty to the startled man in close-up, whose shocked expression dominates the frame. A man begs for solitude, rejecting the glory and riches that came from vanquishing the Demon Lord, as a menacing figure looms before him. Riot, a fearless warrior, boldly confronts 100 demons on his own, while the man beside him looks terrified. A hooded figure looms over the fallen hero Riot, who lies on the ground, desperate. The knife glints menacingly in the light, embodying the grim reality of helplessness. Riot's plea for aid hangs in the air, filled with fear. A frightened girl with long hair anxiously looks at Chrome, her shirt reading, "Forgive me, please," as she pleads for mercy. A hooded figure taunts, "Are you begging for your life?" Meanwhile, a silent, cloaked figure looms behind them, ominous and watchful. The girl gazes at the camera, her expression wide-eyed, and admits she has always viewed the other person as a companion. A voice softly whispers, "As a friend," their mouth the only part visible in the close-up panel. The group shares a poignant moment as one member expresses deep gratitude and a fierce determination to risk everything to defeat the Demon Lord, fueled by their unbreakable bond. A determined woman strolls down the hill, pondering her choice to stand by her friends instead of pursuing grand victories, despite the overwhelming power of the demons ahead. He remembers the despair of that day when he was overwhelmed, and everything he cherished was taken from him. A man grips a knife, his expression intense, as he hears a haunting inner voice insisting his story isn't finished. Nearby, another man smirks, amused by the irony of this revelation's perfect timing. He shouts for help, panicked, while another man stands nearby, contemplative, thinking about settling matters. A boy anxiously recalls their bond as comrades, while a man sheepishly confesses his manipulation by darkness, and the others observe with uncertain expressions. A terrified boy cries for help, while a hooded figure watches quietly. The boy remembers Riot as a rugged yet caring friend, grinning affectionately next to him. The girl breathlessly informs the cloaked figure that Duke Riot has been murdered, leaving a stunned silence in the room. The boy gently whispers, "Big sis," while the girl comforts him, saying that Chrome-sama has avenged him by the gravestone. With tearful eyes, she smiles gently, whispering that he can finally rest in peace. A man rides confidently on his horse through a breezy field, a smile of hope brightening his face. He glances back, grateful for the strength of his elder sister's spirit guiding him forward. She gazes with sparkling eyes and eagerly asks if there's anything she can do to show her appreciation. A surprised girl with twin tails looks wide-eyed, while another, determined, declares she's off to seek revenge elsewhere. He uncovers that 5 traitorous members of the hero's party still live, and his relentless quest for vengeance will continue until he confronts each one of them. The girl with striking black and white hair replies coolly, "Of course," when asked if she plans to confront Hiro-sama directly. The group stands proudly, the knight, steadfast, the swordswoman, fierce, the sage, wise, the saintess, serene, and the hero, determined. His character exudes confidence, ready to face the adventures that lie ahead. A boy with dark hair kneels sorrowfully by a gravestone, while a resolute man with long hair vows to instill terror and anguish in the last 5. A girl with twin tails smiles brightly, expressing her gratitude and eagerness to help. The man in the cloak glances back, relieved as she decides to join him on his journey. She questions him with a determined look, wanting to know if he truly comprehends his words. She grapples with her desire for revenge against Riot, weighing it against the risk of losing everything. Yet, because of him, she finds a renewed hope for tomorrow. Meanwhile, he boldly announces his plan to confront the strongest hero's party. The girl, with a serene smile and sparkling eyes, radiates warmth as she gazes directly at the camera. A girl sprints toward a cloaked figure by a gravestone, her voice trembling. But her eye glistens with sorrow. She gazes at him and softly says she wants to stay a bit longer, their eyes locked in a warm embrace. She smiles brightly, asking if he means her, while he gazes back, bewildered. The boy teases the girl, calling her weird. She playfully retorts, labeling him a weirdo. She proudly reveals that, despite her elegant dress, her older sister, a former knight commander, instilled in her the basics of swordsmanship. She diligently trains her body, determined that Chrome-sama won't easily shake her off. With a bright smile, she boldly states that she will follow him anywhere, regardless of his wishes. Sia sternly threatens to sever ties if things turn chaotic. Farah, beaming, expresses her gratitude and proposes they enjoy a delightful journey together. Meanwhile, a shadowy figure observes quietly from a distance. He coldly proclaims his intent to tread a bloody path for revenge, while she stands behind him, shocked. A girl inquired eagerly about their next destination, while a boy replied uncertainly, his voice trailing off as he started to share their plans. 2 figures linger on a balcony overlooking the grand hall, one curious while the other begins to recount the tale of the oracle, as a bird glides gracefully beneath them. As they kiss, a sense of wonder fills the air. They talk about the oracle, revealing it's a rare gift bestowed only on high-ranking priests, allowing them to glimpse both past and future events. She touches her face, conflicted, rejecting the vision she glimpsed. She insists the person is gone, despite the haunting image lingering in her mind. A boy pleads with Yuno for protection, and he responds confidently, reassuring him to relax. With fierce determination, Yukino proclaims himself the strongest hero, vowing to defend the Laluva kingdom, wielding the legendary saint sword that vanquished the demon lord. Sia Frameright, resolute, announces that the investiture of a high priestess to supreme priestess will soon occur. A resolute girl with long hair stands in the foreground, her black eyes fixed ahead. In the background, A couple shares a tender embrace. A speech bubble indicates that the next target is the soon-to-be Supreme Priestess. A man in a suit stands confidently by a curtained bed, assuring his companion that they will be well taken care of in the softly lit room with tall windows. A man sitting on a bench admires a woman's figure, then smiles as he playfully agrees to her request after hearing her sweet words. She smirks at the Supreme Priest, her expression dripping with disdain. He gasps, astonished, asking if Irina truly slept with that man. The boy furiously confronts someone for disrespecting the girl who sits peacefully with her eyes closed. The boy nervously pleads with the Supreme Priest for assistance, remembering how the Saint Knight, Vance, abruptly stormed into their room while they slept. A woman lies in bed, visibly anxious, as she recounts how a man has been pursuing her ever since she turned him down. Beside her, a man looks contemplative, reflecting on the pain of unrequited love. Riot fiercely confronts Irina about her betrayal, while a shadowy figure orders a boy to leave, declaring Irina belongs to him. An older man joyfully holds a young woman in his lap, expressing their strong bond and emphasizing their unwavering commitment to one another. Frustrated, the man with a broken arm snaps at his friend, questioning whether their affection was genuine. "Did you just toy with my feelings?" he demands. The other guy, annoyed, retorts sharply, "Just shut up and leave me alone." A man with short dark hair furiously brandishes a knife, his face twisted in rage. Irina smiles, enjoying her popularity as a member of the hero's party, confident she'll be chosen as the next Supreme Priestess. Yet, a hint of amusement flickers within her as she wonders why men are so easily deceived. A man in a white shirt and black pants smiles, holding a fluffy white cloud. He reassures an older man, saying he just needed a final nudge to embrace his dreams. A rugged man with a beard, clad in dark armor, resolutely states that he will betray his beloved Yukino without hesitation. A man stares fiercely, his face set with resolve, as a voice proclaims, "I'm ready to seize this chance!" A solitary man strolls through the bustling city, surrounded by towering buildings. He feels lost among the chaos, hearing whispers of hope and anger swirl around him. As he walks, he wonders if Chrome-sama can truly hear his silent plea, while disbelief and frustration echo in the air. Overwhelmed, he hears the chorus of pain and resentment echoing around him. Shocked, he gasps, "Chrome-sama," as he struggles to grasp what he's experiencing. The boy, curious, asks about the shadowy figure before him. The figure starts to reply but stays shrouded in darkness, leaving the boy feeling anxious. A girl with a shadowed face offers a faint smile as she reaches out her hand. "You've done well so far," she says softly, "but this is as close as I can get for now." The girl gazes into the mirror, her reflection caught in a moment of contemplation. With a gloved hand, she covers her mouth, a sly smile creeping across her face as she whispers, "We'll meet again soon." Sia, groggy, is asked if she has just woken up, while she ponders a name that will reveal itself in due time. Farah, curious, asks if something is troubling him. He responds with a dismissive smile, insisting it's nothing, while she ponders a vivid dream, intrigued. A small figure playfully inquires if anyone is interested in experiencing their charm. The girl, embarrassed and fidgeting with her sleeve, asks why the change happened so suddenly. She explains, flustered, that she made the decision to save money since it was just the two of them outside. One character remarks that the other appears tense, while the second person sheepishly mumbles an apology, their gaze fixed on the ground. Her expression was playful as she leaned in for the kiss. Sia, gazing out the window, reflects on her satisfaction after achieving revenge. The narration reveals she is gradually rediscovering her true self. The girl feels liberated, ready to embrace her journey, yet apprehensive about the next steps in her life. The girl with twin tails nervously asks the blonde man if it's okay. He replies calmly, showing his understanding. A boy curiously asks what happened between the other and the hero's party, hoping that a chat might lift his spirits. The other reacts with astonishment. Sia warns the boy with a serious expression, while he looks anxious. Sia, startled, stares wide-eyed at the plate in her hands, her heart racing as she asks if they truly harmed Chrome-sama. Two friends sit by a flickering campfire, warmth radiating around them. One friend leans in, smiling softly, and says, "You can believe me or walk away whenever you choose." She asserts her independence, determined to seek revenge on her own, insisting that he doesn't have to join her. A girl kneels, grateful for her rescue, while a guy with long hair solemnly vows to repay her kindness with his life. She smiles warmly, and softly declares her belief in Chrome-sama. A girl and a man gaze deeply into each other's eyes, their hands intertwined. A shadowy aura envelops them, as the words convey her astonishment at finally trusting him after embracing the darkness. The girl hesitates, her curiosity piqued. The man responds, revealing the darkness within him, an oppressive force that curses and restricts his physical abilities, even with a fixed damage skill. Sia, confidently posing in her bikini, radiates determination. Though skilled with the sword, she feels unprepared to confront the mightiest heroes of the group. He proposes granting her more powers, while she, appearing thoughtful, notes that it speaks volumes. A man with long, light hair is shackled, his expression grim as he reveals that the forbidden art has left him with only fixed damage, known as chains of despair. With her eyes closed, the girl in the white dress stands gracefully against the stark black and white backdrop, embodying hope. A voiceover reveals that if she is granted the skills she lacks, she will finally shine. A girl with long hair gazes thoughtfully, wondering if something is truly achievable. A dark speech bubble hovers nearby, implying it hinges on seeing someone as a partner. Farah eagerly volunteers to assist Chrome, while Riot glances at Sia, questioning her feelings. Sia ponders, feeling acknowledged. She beams up at him, and he replies resolutely that if it makes him stronger, he will gladly accept. He instructs someone to share a fragment of his powers, his expression intense as he utters darkness with unwavering resolve. Sia's determined gaze is locked onto the guy before her, both figures poised in the same space, each radiating their own intensity. The girl fights fiercely, her determination blazing as the boy grimaces, battling against the surge of cutting and acceleration powers being transferred to Sia Frameright. She clutches her sword firmly, her eyes wide as she tells Chrome-sama about the mysterious power pulsing through the blade. A girl with long hair grips her sword tightly, believing it rivals a demon's blade as she extends it before her. Determined, a character, focused, asks if someone is ready to flaunt their peculiar power on the next target. The boy smiles, admiring her beauty and warmth. Yet, the hooded man frowns, sensing danger beneath Saintess Irina's charming facade. A girl eagerly shouts, "Captain Vance!" as she dashes forward, filled with determination. A man stands, puzzled, as a Saint Knight stirs chaos around him. Reminiscing, he admits that Irina was his first love, a bittersweet memory flooding his heart. The boy desperately urges Sia to stop him, but she defiantly refuses, declaring she won't let him take her prey as a thunderous roar erupts nearby. Sia yells, "Acceleration!" and bolts forward, her form a vibrant blur, a fiery flash that dazzles the human eye. A cloaked figure hesitates, anxiously questioning the possibility of arriving in time. A hand extends toward a distant woman, eliciting a startled gasp from her. A man hugs a woman tightly, feeling heartbroken, whispering that he loved her through it all. A furious man in armor shouts his accusation of betrayal at Irina, while an unseen voice curiously wonders what's happening. A man confronts Vance, frustration etched on his face. Vance, fiercely defensive, accuses him of betrayal for choosing to become the High Priestess without a second thought. A character ponders, "Am I just a tool?" Confusion spreads among the others, their expressions reflecting doubt about the Saintess's choices. A girl watches anxiously as two guys argue fiercely over her, each desperate to prove their worth and gain her attention. The man in the suit scowled, accusing someone of trying to disgrace the Saintess. "Leave now!" he commanded furiously. She urgently pleads for everyone to halt, sensing that he's trapped under a curse, while a man stands anxiously behind her. Furious, the girl confronts the other person, declaring that false accusations arise solely from a lack of proof. The other person, incredulous, shouts back in disbelief. Irina fervently prays to heal a wounded soul, her expression earnest, while a shadowy figure observes silently, filled with apprehension. The girl, wide-eyed and terrified, grips the knife tightly as she stares at the boy, who is trembling and pale, trying to process the chaos around him. The girl anxiously examines her reflection, her blonde hair cascading around her face as she contemplates the chaos around her. A boy kneels, sword elevated, vowing to atone for the shame he brought upon the Saintess, burdened by the curse that tarnished the holy knights. A girl cradles an injured man in her arms, her eyes filled with compassion as he struggles to speak. With tears streaming down her face, she implores Vance, The least you could have done is rest in peace. The boy's eyes widened in shock as he recognized Irina's monastic magic, glancing down at his wounded hand. A hooded figure reveals a sinister brainwashing spell that compels others to take their own lives, while a girl stands nearby, captivated. Irina captivated everyone, her presence both commanding and serene. In that moment, she silenced the crowd, effortlessly radiating her saintly charm. Sia, resolute, accepts the order to move out. A wounded figure, determined, promises that their regrets will soon be avenged. A determined woman pledges to safeguard Chrome-sama, while the armored guards shout urgently, demanding to know her identity and warning others to stay back from the saintess. She calmly adjusts her glasses, while he, serious and hooded, insists they start. The cartoon character gazes intently into the mirror, feeling hopeful yet anxious. As they seek clarity and understanding amidst their swirling emotions, a shadowy figure faces away, mocking suffering and despair, as distant cries of anguish pierce the silence. A man with glasses, gripping a knife, declares that magic is the art of unveiling the darkness within the human heart. He believes that pain and despair will fuel his relentless pursuit of knowledge. A hooded figure proclaims that the day to seize the ultimate forbidden spell is approaching, standing resolutely before a shadowy silhouette, with hands pressed against a surface, determination radiating from their presence. The scene reveals a stark silhouette of treetops, etched against the twilight sky, accompanied by a sign that reads, "No of the Kingdom." This is the kingdom of Lalfava, nestled within the Principality of Riju, close to the kingdom's border. The atmosphere feels mysterious. The girl, curious, inquired about the area, while the cloaked figure, mysterious, revealed that Valerie's laboratory was nearby. She whispers a rumor that he's always holed up in his lab, and she observes that the saint has been absent from everyone's view for days. Curious. A resolute girl with long, dark hair stands against the black background, dressed in a flowing black dress. Her eyes glint with determination as she declares her next target, Valerie the Wise. He warns Shea not to wander too far, stressing that he's choosing the riskiest path to stay hidden. Still, she feels skeptical about their actual danger now. She leans in, but he shifts away, playfully warning her not to come too close. She grins, teasingly asking if he's trying to soothe her after ending things with Irina. The boy anxiously tells Chrome he'll check, and she urgently warns him to come back right away if he faces any danger. He feels helpless, unable to move freely while standing there, a cloak billowing around him as he holds a heart in his hand. Shea insists, "I'm fine." Her voice is resolute, while a girl watches quietly from the shadows. A frightened girl with long black hair sits on the bed, hugging herself tightly. The girl with twin tails playfully teases, suggesting that someone is intimidated by the blonde-haired person. The blonde, sheepishly admitting to their occasional rudeness, chuckles in acknowledgement. The boy is defiant, claiming he's not afraid. The girl is apprehensive, noting the man's intimidating appearance, while another girl observes silently. She cautions him that being with her will invite misfortune, claiming she attracts demons. He stares at her, bewildered, and exclaims, "What?" A girl with long hair and a black and white dress gazes at the camera, her eyes filled with gratitude. The narration reveals that the crest engraved on the target releases a scent that beckons demons. A girl with twin tails nervously reveals that she was kidnapped weeks ago and branded with a crest as part of an experiment, while the blonde figure beside her listens attentively. She breathlessly shares how she fled when the opportunity arose, cautioning that the scent intensifies at night, luring monsters. He grimly retorts that venturing out alone with that kind of magic is madness. A girl in a flowing black dress stands beside a man in a white shirt, her expression anxious as she questions if someone intentionally sought out a demon's attack to meet their end. A man stands with a tattoo visible on his arm, a troubled expression crossing his face as he admits, "I'm scared." Innocent victims succumb to a cruel curse, abducted for sinister experiments, as a monstrous figure loomed menacingly, leaving terrified children trembling in the shadows. A man in a suit stands confidently, while a woman in a dress looks anxious, her hands clutching her chest. She fears a curse of sorrow and death, worrying about the callous mage who unleashed it. A nervous girl in a maid outfit insists her skills will defeat all foes, while a confident woman assures her not to worry because Chrome-sama is incredibly powerful. A cloaked figure questions the source of the curse, while a woman with striking black and white hair listens intently. The girl, wide-eyed and anxious, grips her collar tightly, her voice trembling as she asks if they will harm him if he speaks. A girl with long hair and a bow clutches a bundle of colorful balloons, her expression anxious. She warns that holding on to secrets can ruin their future, and implores others to seek help to overcome their struggles. The girl, her long hair cascading around her shoulders, gazes intently at the camera, her expression resolute. Clutching her collar, she reveals that the one who cursed her is a specific person, urging fiercely that the other must fight. The girl with twin tails anxiously insists she's part of the hero's party, Valerie the Wise. As the blonde woman listens intently, breathless, they approach Yurin amidst the chaos of the fight, seeking directions to Valerie's. Yurin's eyes widen in shock. Shea confidently declares they'll guarantee safety and seek out someone who can unveil the secret to breaking the spell, while the man beside her listens intently. The girl anxiously asks if she can return to the laboratory, gripping her collar tightly with a worried look. The boy looks uncertain as he asks if his body can return to normal, while the girl beside him listens intently, and two women behind them nod thoughtfully. She gazes at the camera, her expression wistful as she softly acknowledges that there's a chance, but it's not certain. A young boy anxiously clenches his fists, longing to reunite with his friends, the villagers, and his family. The girl confidently pledges to lead them to Valerie's laboratory, while the boy eagerly declares his commitment to protect Yurin Chan. The dark-haired girl boldly asserts she can eliminate any foe within 10 meters, while the startled boy shows worry about the impending attack. The girl blushes, hand over her mouth, shyly confessing that it's because Chrome-san is a man. The girl smiled playfully, insisting she wouldn't do anything inappropriate. The guy chuckled, his eyes sparkling as he replied, "But Yurin Chan is adorable." A girl with long hair reflects on her sister's harsh words about men being animals and sex fiends. Her friend, curious, asks if she still believes that. A girl with long hair looks frustrated as two others, one in a maid outfit and the other with a ponytail, snicker and call men animals and sex fiends. She suddenly panics, wondering if Chrome-san desires her. Anxiety grips her as she fears the conversation is veering into awkwardness. She clutches the book tightly, her expression determined as she insists it's not true, asserting it's just like all the others. In a cozy room, a girl playfully teases a boy sitting nearby, claiming he's been summoned to the bedroom more than anyone else. The boy chuckles, feeling embarrassed, while the girl beside him beams with admiration for his popularity. The girl with long dark hair gazes at the camera, her expression serene as someone notes that she is the master's favorite among Valerie the Wise's 7 apprentices. A pair of enchanting youths, their beauty captivating, share a tender kiss, lost in their moment of affection. The narration hints at their connection to Valerie, entwined in both love and desire. Two friends chat eagerly about how winning Valerie's affection could unlock a hidden secret of magic. A girl with long, flowing hair and a serene expression confidently declares she is unique and genuinely a master of love. The boy fidgets, proudly basking in the admiration he believes he's earned with his looks and the skills he's honed in private. Margot, Farah, and Riot stand vigilant as Margot alerts them to an approaching presence near the lab. Irina watches, puzzled, and asks, "What's happening?" The boy hastily alerts the master about intruders, his voice frantic as he reveals that all defensive magic, traps, and guard monsters have been obliterated by a mysterious assault. A man with black hair gazes thoughtfully, pondering the allure of darkness, acknowledging that he has yet to grasp its true power. In a cozy room, a girl enthusiastically explains the difference between invoking dark power and mastering it. A boy, curious, asks if someone is alive, while another boy replies, disheartened, that he's not meant to be. A resolute girl with striking black and white hair gazes into the camera, her determination palpable. Meanwhile, another girl, equally fierce, stands her ground, insisting on taking charge instead. The dark-haired girl stands resolutely, urging the group to unite against the intruder, her confidence radiating as she believes they can easily overcome him together. The girl appears hesitant as the dark-haired person confidently urges her to trust them, vowing to conquer all. A fierce group of fighters stands resolutely in the way, declaring they won't let anyone through, ready to kill for their cherished Valerie-sama. A cheerful girl in a maid outfit explains that they are apprentices of Valerie, tasked with managing the test subjects. The serious young man listens intently, curious as he asks, "Who are you?" A girl frowns, expressing her disgust as she accuses the guy of treating their subjects like mere tools, branding him a monster. A man in a suit and tie curiously questions 3 identical boys about the lab's test subjects. The boys look surprised as they respond to his inquiries. 2 kids with dark hair and cloaks debate passionately, one insisting there's no reason to be attached to experimental material, while the other argues they should be grateful. A boy questions, "Is that all you have?" Two others shout fierce commands, unleashing simultaneous blasts of fire and wind. Impressed, the character acknowledged the others' unmatched prowess in advanced fire and wind magic. Without a hint of hesitation, they admitted, "You're a better wizard than I ever was in the hero's party." Two boys stare, bewildered, as their magic fizzles. A close-up reveals a fierce figure, demanding Valerie's location. The dialogue shows that Valerie-sama oversees all spell research, sparking hope that the records might reveal a way to lift the girl's curse. The boy nervously recounts the legend of the wise man's chamber hidden deep in the institute, while the cloaked figure impatiently presses for the whereabouts of the memory orb. The man in the suit glances over, his eyes bright with curiosity. Valerie-sama is practicing ritual magic just 2 rooms away from the wise man's chamber, he announces. A quiet voice near the staircase replies, "Okay," with an air of calm acceptance. The boy is startled as someone yells at him, "Then die!" He stammers, "What? It's not like that." The girl, contemplative and poised, stands firmly, asserting her uniqueness against the stark black and white backdrop. A girl with long, light hair and a dark dress furiously accuses someone of taking countless lives, demanding to know if they truly believe they can evade the consequences. A girl anxiously exclaims that Valerie's frightening apprentice has disappeared, while a cloaked figure nonchalantly turns away, showing indifference. Micah, dressed in her striking black and white dress, stands confidently in front of the building. With a curious gaze, she introduces herself as one of Valerie's apprentices and asks, "What's your purpose here?" He boldly asserts that he is not Valerie's friend, but rather on a mission for her master. With determination, she clutches her sword and declares, "This won't be a peaceful errand." The character excitedly admires the wizard, celebrating his innovative techniques that will transform the realm of magic. Her eyes wide with concern, she asks if the human experiment is happening again. A girl admires her reflection in the mirror, determination shining in her eyes as she expresses her unwavering belief in someone she dreams of surpassing. Meanwhile, a man watches from afar, skepticism etched on his face, dismissing her ambition as selfish, yet recognizing the noble sacrifice it represents for the world. The girl blushes deeply as the man confronts her, accusing her of being Valerie's lover and challenging her feelings. Love? Lust? Or selfishness? Sia reveals the truth about Valerie's betrayal, and Farah, concerned, suggests they pursue him. Sia, determined, shakes her head, choosing to let him leave as a boy nearby grimaces in agony. With determination, the man grips his surfboard, ready to embrace the waves ahead. He realizes that the fighters, like him, must face pain. Powerful spells demand intense anger. A maid stands nearby, contemplating. Shea is softly summoned by someone, and then the girl with twin tails dashes forward, startling the 2 nearby children. A guy smiles as he urges the girl beside him to run, excitement shining in their eyes. The girl nods enthusiastically, her face lighting up with joy, while a small boy grins, feeling grateful for the adventure ahead. She feels curious as he reveals that it illustrates the Chain of Darkness, a spell he unearthed in ancient ruins 2 years prior. A bespectacled man shouts, "Chrome!" then wonders, "Why am I still alive?" A cloaked figure in a striking black and white outfit calmly asks if the other feels disappointed that their cherished apprentice is still alive. A dark-haired woman in a striking black and white outfit furrows her brow, puzzled as she contemplates how the apprentice managed to survive. A bespectacled man inquires, "How did you gain that darkness?" His hand is raised near his face, reflecting a serious curiosity. A man curiously asks why the other doesn't start by explaining how to remove the scent of darkness from urine, while a girl in a maid outfit listens attentively behind him. A contemplative maid recalls a little girl, while a puzzled man in glasses asks, "Urine?" A shadowy figure informs the well-dressed duo that the research records for Scent of Darkness are kept in orb number 327, the same number associated with a specific girl. With a hint of intrigue, the figure invites them to take it if they desire. A resolute man with glasses fervently proclaims that if he can seize the darkness, the ultimate form of magic, he will forsake all other pursuits, declaring it his crowning ambition after 4 decades of searching. A man in a suit leans forward, intrigued, as he asks Chrome how she obtained the power of darkness. With a confident smile, she raises her hand, signaling that she has one more question. One man looks curious about the power of darkness, while the other appears thoughtful, admitting he's unsure but has some inkling. 2 cloaked figures loom before a massive stone monument. One figure intently reveals that a once mighty civilization thrived on this world, starkly contrasting with the present reality. A shadowy figure of a woman stretches toward a massive chain as the narration unveils the awe-inspiring prehistoric civilization of Lemuseria and its remarkable magical technology. In the bustling city, the man reflects on how modern magic is merely a faded echo of the powerful techniques once wielded by ancient civilizations, their brilliance too profound for the human mind to grasp fully. A girl gazes into the mirror, her reflection mirroring the intrigue in her eyes as the guy beside her shares the tale of a forbidden spell, the Chain of Darkness, discovered in ancient ruins. She listens intently, recalling a lesson etched in her memory, a mix of wonder and caution filling the air between them. A radiant glow emanates from below a speech bubble, proclaiming that the ancients held profound wisdom about darkness and light, far surpassing our own understanding. In the shadows, a character reveals the forbidden spell, Chains of Darkness. This dark incantation draws power from a chosen sacrifice, enveloping the target in a heavy gloom, while a brilliant light emerges in reaction. Fear grips the atmosphere as the weight of this choice looms large. The boy realizes he was sacrificed to grant the hero the holy light attribute, and Irina's actions were designed to incite his anger and grief. A man with long dark hair states, "The deeper the darkness, the brighter the light. Greater despair leads to stronger sacrifices and deeper shadows." The boy and girl share a curious gaze as he boldly claims she is the chosen one, dazzling in her purity amidst the group. A resolute girl shares her thoughts, emphasizing that a pure heart can plunge into profound darkness when mistreated. Meanwhile, a bewildered boy listens intently, his expression reflecting confusion. He stands bewildered, questioning why his magic has vanished, and his body feels weak. Nearby, another figure explains with grim resolve that the sacrifice's magic is siphoned away, transformed into dark energy as an inevitable consequence. A man with long dark hair and glasses grimly explains that the device in the room drains all magic and inflicts pain, observing that the test subject's physical abilities were only severely diminished. The boy curiously asks about darkness and light, while the girl thoughtfully responds, emphasizing that it all depends on the level of sorrow tied to the sacrifice. A man passionately shares that great energy rests in a realm beyond this world, while a woman and two others watch him intently from afar. He wonders if this moment is merely passion or something deeper, an undeniable connection that remains to be explored. A character passionately explains that only those blessed with the holy attribute can wield light like true heroes. Meanwhile, darkness is easily grasped by any magician. Two listeners sit captivated, absorbing every word. A figure raises their arms dramatically, summoning the commandments of Lemuseria, with a fierce, radiant symbol glowing behind them. A shadowy figure proclaims it's time to seize the other's darkness, while the light-haired character, puzzled, wonders why fixed damage fails to affect them. A cloaked figure reveals the commandments of Lemuria, portraying it as a powerful artifact that manipulates darkness itself. A bespectacled character nods, recalling the intense fight with their apprentices, clearly impressed by their skills. The girl observes the dark powers with curiosity while the man confidently explains their range and the potential for destruction or evolution. With a fierce grin, the character confidently proclaims that striking from a safe distance guarantees their triumph over the rivals. A man coldly reveals that the other's power stems from darkness. He sneers, claiming that if it's blocked, they'll be powerless. Just a mere human stripped of magic and strength. Sia commands the girl, her expression stern, to remain still, as the boy, anxious, calls out to her from behind. A determined man with dark hair boldly states he cannot yet grasp the power of darkness, but he will seize it one day. A man chuckles, confessing he dismissed someone's talent 2 years ago and cast them aside. Now, he sees them as his most valuable apprentice. He admits the current pain feels trivial compared to the anguish he faced 2 years ago, then questions Chrome's desire to learn from him. The boy yearns to be strong and deserving of the girl he has loved since childhood. The woman, recognizing his potential, admires the innocence in his gaze. A man confidently tells the boy he will train him first, cautioning that the training will be grueling. The boy excitedly nods in agreement, while the man subtly suggests that the boy might one day achieve his dreams. The girl admired the boy's sincerity, while the boy appreciated the girl's wisdom that led him to prove himself worthy of the hero's party. A boy reminisces about his dream of becoming a wizard, inspired by a figure from his past. Meanwhile, a man in armor stands with his back turned, a hint of disappointment in his voice, as he acknowledges that those dreams were meant for his most cherished apprentices. A stern man views apprentices as expendable tools, while another passionately nurtures them for collaborative research. A man with glasses proudly declares his membership in the Heroes Party, excitedly sharing that he has numerous aspiring apprentices around the globe, ready to choose only those who meet his high expectations. A shadowy figure orders Chrome to surrender his dark power, mocking him as a worthless failure, declaring he's utterly lost. A girl in a flowing white dress stands resolutely against a stark, black and white backdrop. A voice observes that Valerie's light can dim the encroaching shadows, while it also notes the user's despair has escalated to a deeper hatred. The user's darkness output skyrocketed by 666%. Transforming from a simple shadow into a mind-bending force. The man with glasses gasps in disbelief as he realizes the interference wave against darkness has been disabled, wondering if the commandments can truly be overcome. A figure sneers at another, tauntingly asking if their trump card is truly their power. The man gasps, astonished, as he grapples with the reality of that power and the device at play. He recognizes that hatred fuels his power, resentment sharpens his resolve, anger ignites his actions, sadness deepens his purpose, despair drives him forward, revenge motivates his every move. A man with long dark hair and a hoodie fiercely proclaims that all these challenges have only made him stronger, deepening his darkness and questioning if it can expand endlessly.